Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. RFK Refugees Podcast. Ted here, John here, getting you set up on another Monday. We got DC United back. We're back, rocking and rolling, doing the things we do. Before we begin the show, John, I just want to say it's hard to exaggerate what you have done for the profile of men's football in the United States.
Thanks.
Our women have won the World Cup.
Oh, you're not
World
telling
Cup
me
after
that.
World Cup, but few American men have done more for the game than you.
Thank you.
Me, of course. We're all great. Let me just drop. If you guys didn't get that, just go search it on Twitter. You'll find it. Probably everybody knows what we're talking about. The very weird and bizarre tweet that came out that day. I won't say who it's by. You can figure that out yourself. But John, can I just say, can we stop talking about the growth of soccer in general? Like when you have multiple European leagues getting $1 million. I mean, we can talk about we can go more nuanced than that. We can talk about growth of MLS, growth of NWSL, growth of DC United Spirit. But we're talking about growth of soccer in general. I think we're kind of past that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're well past that. Well past that point.
Yeah, I think as long as you're not being silly and trying to qualify it against the popularity of other things, as long as it's not relative position, it's inarguable that soccer's here, right?
Well, I thought I forget someone tweeted this out, and I think they raised a good point. They said, really, what we have right now is we do have 5 big team sports in this country. We have soccer, hockey, basketball, baseball, and American football, of course. Mm-hmm. So those are the 5 big sports. We can argue and debate probably about, where does MLS fit in with the other big leagues. I'm willing to have that debate, but soccer is the biggest sport in the country. Maybe it's not as big as hockey from an English speaking perspective, but switch that language to Spanish or any other language really that exists in this country, and you will see how much that popularity grows as my camera falls again.
That's good. It's like it makes it more dynamic for the camera to fall in the middle of the episode.
Just watch it generally get closer to my face. Mm-hmm. Yes. All right, John. We got some soccer to talk about. First,
from one of our teams, we do.
For one of our teams, yes. First, we got some news, guys. Subscribe. Hit that Amazon Prime subscription. Drop it in. We had a lot of great. You unfortunately, Twitch makes you do it.
It's also Subtober, I believe, is that what it's called?
Subtemper, I think is.
It's some stupid portmanteau that Twitch was conceived for. But basically, if you want to subscribe, if you subscribed last month with using your Amazon Prime sub, do it again. Hit the same subscribe button. Click the box at the bottom of the thing that says use Amazon Prime. Or if you want to just spend money, that's fine too. You'll notice we took a week and a half off, and now we're back. So everything will be as it was before. We're back on our grind. So if you like our grind, if you like watching this show and hearing us, shoot off the top of the dome for many, many things, subscribe so that it makes it easier for us to keep the show on the air. That's it for that.
We're talking everything. We'll be going right to the end of the season. I guess there actually is one more international break. It's like in October, beginning of October.
We'll power through that one. We just needed that one to just reset the batteries a little bit. We're back now.
To reset the batteries, yeah, we'll have hopefully some Spirit games to talk about
one day, point. Or maybe we never just will. Maybe we'll just forfeit out. Who knows?
Who knows? But let's get into DC. Let's talk DC United falling 3-2 to Atlanta United.
Do we want to do Chicago first, or do we want to go back?
Oh, that's right. Shoot, I forgot to talk about a win. Yeah, let's talk about a win. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, right.
DC. I forget we haven't talked about Chicago. DC United playing Chicago over the weekend at Audi Field, coming to a 3-0 victory, a resounding victory, a pretty it was great to watch this team. I thought what the more incredible parts about this game was just how comfortable everybody looked in this game, and just they went out and beat an opponent that they should have beaten. I think there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I think if you turn this game off at halftime, you were thinking it would be another 7-1 Toronto beatdown. Yeah. And what happened was the second half was not. If you look at expected goals for the second half, it was even. I believe was the statistic. But I think the highlight here is we beat a team we're supposed to beat. Ola Kamara is the king of all goals. Gola Kamara is in the first place of the Golden Boot. And no one got injured, and that was important because the game this weekend was the one I think we said last week. What did we want? We wanted 4 points from these 2 games, and we wanted I'm trying to remember. Do you remember what our expectations were?
I think 4 points was a success for this game, and we'll get into a little bit of the Atlanta game and how disappointed we're actually feeling about the team. But I think 4 points was what we wanted. Obviously, we wanted to beat the Fire. We wanted to go in. You got to win your home games. We'll talk a little bit about why that's really important for this team heading down the stretch, considering what they have in front of them, to go out and get maximum points in their home games. But I mean, I guess the more interesting part of the game is just that first 15 minutes. I mean, it was just all DC. It was all DC. They were pressing, they were pressuring all over the place, and then Ola Kamara picks up a penalty, scores a penalty. So I think that almost like everybody's like going to talk about. I know I could feel it coming. I'm like, when Ola Kamara took the lead in the Golden Boot race, I'm like, he should be the MVP candidate. Everybody, national media, everybody, no, he's not the MVP candidate. I'm like, in what other dimension is he not at least? I'm not even saying he should be the MVP candidate, but there should be a conversation.
If the field is at least 5 players, he should be in the field.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's right. I mean, I think I said it on Twitter when we were engaging. Was it Weeby that we were sort of talking to on Twitter about it?
Yeah, it was Weeby, a little bit of Weeby. Yeah, I'm just saying it's worth the conversation to have him.
And it's a all of these are to a degree a popularity contest. MVP is extremely so. So yeah, all we're asking for is him to be on the ballot. I think if he is the Golden Boot winner at the end of the day, and he might be, just put him on the little graphic where you have the end of the year guys. That's all we're asking for.
I think you have a good shout for Andy Nahar. I think Weeby was given the most likely for comeback player. I think that's certainly in the cards. And I think that's something you can definitely see. I think Kevin Paredes could get a shout for Young Player of the Year, certainly. I think that's another one. Maybe that's slipping a little bit under the radar. Probably Ricardo Pepi takes it because he's got 12 goals this year.
Yeah, he's probably going to get it.
He's probably going to get it. But I'm talking about just conversation. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he should be. I'm just saying
we're just happy to be nominated, right?
To completely just say he should not be in the conversation, I think is a little ridiculous for the player who has the most goals. Regardless if they're penalties, I mean, he still scores. I wanted to look up what is the single season record for penalty goals in an MLS season. That would be interesting.
Was Jaime the winner of it?
Possibly,
late career Jaime.
But I mean, to go out and to score 7 straight penalties, I mean, that's a feat in and of itself.
The man is dripping from confidence taking penalties. I swear to God. And I was talking to my friend Nancy about it. She doesn't like the hesitation. I love the hesitation. Mm-hmm. It is maybe a little bit unfair because it's similar to the Jorginho jump penalty that he takes in that. Unless he screws up, he's going to score basically. And right now, he is 100%. Has he missed any this year? He might have missed one.
I don't think he's missed a penalty. I think he's been a perfect 7 for 7. I'll be curious if we get some stats on that. But I can't remember. I can't remember a time when he was been penalty. I guess some other things for this game. Obviously, getting the hat trick. 2 penalties in this game. Kevin Paredes winning the second one. Again, he looks really, really good. I'll get into more. I want to maybe hold off on a little conversation on him as we get to the Atlanta game, because I think I saw some interesting things in that Atlanta game that we have not seen from him and that are make me really really excited about him. But I mean, and one other point I want to highlight from this game was the save Bill Hamid makes in this game. This was a 3-0 victory. DC were certainly deserved winners, but this game was 1-0, and Bill Hamid makes the save. When fans and people like me and you talk about how important Bill Hamid is into this team, it's moments like that, moments where he keeps a team off a score sheet, he saves points for you, he keeps you in the game, does things, and he did it against Atlanta too. He had some very, very key saves in this game. In fact, I looked at his FootMob rating, and it's causing me to doubt the whole how FootMob handles rating goalkeepers, because I think he had like a 5.8 or something like that.
Except for the Kempen score, we will agree that the fours were deserved for Kempen.
That one game was probably right, but I think it's causing me to, just because a goalkeeper gets scored on doesn't mean
correct.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a minute. But he makes the save in the Chicago game with his foot, and DC goes right back the other way and scores a goal. And really at that point, that game is over. Like, I was like 2-0. This is over. Chicago is not coming back. They are already a broken team. Like, they are a bad team. DC is taking care of business. Obviously, Olivin gets a hat trick. Felt a little bad for Paul Arriola that he didn't get a rocket goal that could have potentially been a goal of the week nominee. But Gressel, I thought, was also strong. Obviously, had the assist on the goal. Finally, his expected assist numbers versus his actual assist numbers are crazy.
They are.
So hopefully that kind of kind of comes to be.
I like seeing Ola score from open play off a header like that too, and it was not an easy header. He wasn't marked very well, but the angle was a challenge for him to put it in that corner. So, and also producer Brian on the Johnny on the spot here, 7 for 7 penalties for Ola this year. So Ted was right, not missed yet from the spot. Knock on.
I want to producer Brian, if you can find me the stat for the most penalty goals from a single player in an MLS season, I'd be curious to see if Ola can break that stat.
Landon, Jeff Cunningham, or Jaime.
Or Jaime, potentially.
One of those three.
Potentially. We do have a caller. Unless, John, before we get out, do you want to have anything you want to touch on the game?
No, I was hoping, I wanted Ola to score the Texas hat trick. I wanted him to start like another 15 minutes because, and we'll talk about this in the Atlanta game, the cupboard is pretty bare at attack, so I guess it made sense to, one, you got the 3 points in the bag, protect your most valuable resource, which is the Golden Boot winner from a player that you don't have any depth on, or very limited depth on. But really, we like when this team handles business at home, when it does what it's supposed to do. And I think that Hernan was happy about this game. He was, I think, almost happier with the Atlanta loss. And we'll talk about sort of how he felt about his team fighting. But overall, 3 points out of a potential 6 started coming into the last weekend. We'll talk about the other one. Angus, my friend, let's talk about I assume just DC United in general. What do you got cooking for us?
Hey guys, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yep. Awesome. It's been a weird week, I guess. The ups and downs have been pretty harsh when you think about it. Especially considering how I think we played very well against Atlanta. I think the scoreline doesn't necessarily reflect that. I think that there were some possible personnel choices that could have been a little bit better from the jump. I don't necessarily think Drew is a starter, but I think he's a great substitute and a great Swiss Army knife, similar to Ulysses Segura last year, if you kind of want to put like a mold on him, right? But the 3-0 game was great at midweek. I was there, and it was good. It was a good atmosphere for a Wednesday game. It's weird because,
Angus, before we continue,
yeah.
You were there, and you know why we know you were there is because you got a lot of love for your two-pole.
I was everywhere.
You got love for your. You had a very, very cool Hernan Losada driver's license two-pole that both Claudia Pagan and Hernan himself shared on Instagram. So congrats, congrats to you on that.
Yeah, it was that was a wild couple of days there. I need to take more time to make those in the future. That's for
Apparently.
Sure. Need to have a better plan. It was fun. A team effort there. It wasn't just me who made that. It was a group effort over a really kind of whirlwind couple of days. So to everybody who helped me with that, thank you very much. But more important, let's talk about the soccer. That's why everybody's here in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. So Saturday, I was very excited. National television it's like we could finally try to get some of that respect back because, we've got Weeby in our mentions pretty much telling us that DC isn't anything. Hernan Losada shouldn't be in the conversation for Coach of the Year because, Bruce Arena's just going to walk away with it because, nobody can ever do anything good as long as if it's got DC United attached to it, right? And you can complain about the refereeing and the commentators and that stuff. That there was definite issues, especially I think with some of the officiating. When you finish a game with 25-8 in fouls, I don't necessarily know if that's reflective of DC playing that dirty or the calls not necessarily going 100% in one team or another's favor. But I'm not one to comment on that because I'm not an official like Ted. So what do you have to say about that?
About the officiating, talking about the officiating of the Atlanta game. I am not one of those people who likes to get into arguments over when this team has more fouls. The call it both ways crowd. I'm like, well, if you have one team that is playing more physical, you're going to immediately have more fouls. The disparity was a little ridiculous, and I guess the one moment I remember, it was DC getting called for basically anything, basically for breathing on Ezekiel Barco. That was going to be a foul. And then Kevin Paredes basically gets a shoulder check. That
was a hockey shoulder check. Yeah,
a hockey shoulder check with an elbow maybe somewhere near the face. And the referee is standing right there.
For elbow, if that was in the NHL.
Yeah.
That was definitely a minor penalty in the NHL.
Yeah, and basically the referee being like, "Oh, looks fine there. I think we're good." I'm like, no, that was a foul. So that definitely stood out. I kind of missed the Barco. Everybody was saying that wasn't a foul, but I kind of missed that. Overall, I mean, I think it was subpar performance. I thought he did a little bit better in the second half. DC could consider themselves fortunate because he probably should have given a second yellow to Fred Brilliant after he basically denied an attacking opportunity. And I do think that maybe DC, we'll talk a little bit about I think the second goal they gave up, or maybe it was the third goal. But I think that maybe should have been included. DC, hey, he's not giving second yellows on stopping attacking opportunities. Maybe we should take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think the goal you're thinking about there was the third one where we kind of got dribbled out of our shoes for a bit there. And I honestly was sitting there going, well, we can't exactly touch the guy because we've shown the precedent of the game has been if we touch someone, we're going to get a foul. So what really can we do to defend somebody as technical as I believe it was? Bello scored it. Maybe it was Arujo.
It was
the person who dribbled everyone out of their socks. So yeah. And that's more a testament to Atlanta's very technical based roster compared to DC's roster, which still has the very large remnants of Benny ball attached to it still. One thing I did notice about, and this is a game for everybody, I did come up with a small little game here because I saw that quite a few center backs were getting a lot of stick in various channels and outlets for their plays this season and overall in their career. So I thought I'd get their stats off of FootMob, and I'd give you 3 anonymous DC United center backs, and you're going to try to tell me which one is Donovan Pines. Okay?
All right.
So, center back A, and the stats I'm using here are pass accuracy, dribble success, tackle success, and overall FootMob rating. Okay? Center back A. His pass accuracy is 81%. His dribble success is 67%. His tackle success is 65%. And his overall FootMob rating is 7.49. Center back B has a pass accuracy of 82%, a dribble success of 80%, a tackle success of 62%, and an overall FootMob rating of 7.14. And then center back C has a pass accuracy of 77%, does not have a dribble success stat. Either so this center back has attempted 0 dribbles or has not been successful on any of them. Has a tackle success of 50% and an overall FootMob rating of 6.39.
Ooh.
Which one is Donovan Pines? People in the chat, tell me, which one do you think is Donovan Pines? A, B, or C? Put it in the chat, guys. There's 12.
Can we get a poll up, producer? Can we do something like that? I don't know if we can get that up that quickly.
Here's my hypothesis. I'll go backwards. I think C is Brillant. I think B is Alfaro, and I think A is Pines. FootMob loves Donovan Pines.
Yeah,
he's been man of the match multiple times when he has played, and I think his sample size is smaller, so I think that may lean to it. We'll find out.
I think A. I think you're right about A. The pass accuracy thing was what I was kind of like. Well, he does do that a lot, but that's definitely Mr. Andy Nahar. I would say.
All right, tell us what's up. Go off mute.
All right, guys. So I'll let you know who Donovan Pines is last, but I'll tell you that A is Andy Nahar. So he leads the team he's the leader of the team in FootMob rating with a 7.5. And he's a quite good defensively. He's one of the best defenders we have in terms of tackle success, which is great. And you see that in the games. And And I'll tell you that C is Steve Birnbaum. Donovan Pines is B.
Yeah,
he has an 82% pass accuracy and an 80% dribble success rate.
Good job. Good job to producer Brian to get the graphic up here and real quickly. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Birnbaum is sort of hosed by. He's got sort of an incomplete grade for the year. I think he's probably got maybe like 3 starts, maybe 4.
Yeah, yeah, and he came off the bench. He came off the bench against Atlanta. I don't even know if he got counted for a rating, right? But everybody's major complaint about Donovan Pines is his inability to distribute the ball and how he really can't handle the ball when it's at his feet. But it's very clear by some numbers and most metrics that he's very accurate with his passing, and he's very successful when he wants to dribble.
Yeah, I push back a lot on Donovan Pines. I feel like he had a moment in the Chicago game, or he had a moment recently. Obviously, he had the moment against New York. But I mean, in this game, even the team gives up 3 goals. I can't really point to him as a factor in those goals. We'll get into who the main factor was maybe in those goals and what happened. But I mean, he really wasn't a and he really he comes in with some really timely tackles when all the physical traits are there for him. I just think the mental side of the game, sort of cleaning up that game, is maybe going to take some time. I don't know if he'll ever be national team quality, or maybe if he'll ever make the jump to Europe. I don't know if that's in the cards. Certainly not right now. Maybe not for a bit. But if he can sort of get that mental side of the game figured out, he could stop, with the mental errors, really commit himself. I think he could be a real talent. The physical attributes are all there.
Hopefully Bill Hamid doesn't keep punching him in the balls when he messes up and lets goals go in.
Angus, thanks so much for calling in, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, guys. I'll post the stats for Fred Briant in the chat because everybody seems to be wondering what those are now. Yeah.
There you go.
I think we should make this. Thank you, Angus. I think we should make this a regular feature. Of DC United. Who's that player? I would bet you that Andy is top 3 in dribbles completed on the team.
I would bet that highly. That highly. And he was missing. And let's get into So Andy went 90, I think, against Chicago. I think there were some of us that were like, maybe we should take him out. Maybe we should rest him, because I think there's now a coming sort of realization of kind of just how important he is to this team, and it was kind of evident against Atlanta. But let's get into maybe a deeper dive into that game.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit, John. What were some of it was a loss, but what were some of your thoughts on the game?
Well, I think you can't. I'm gonna have to start with DC's goals.
Yeah,
because both of them were bananas. Felipe coming back from the dead, basically, and the goal meant so much to him. Clearly, I think he knows that he has been sort of written off by fans, maybe by the team a little bit. I feel like he thinks he's got a lot of soccer in his legs. Who knows? It's a deep position on the team. Moses Nyman can't find the field right now, so defensive midfielder is a crowded spot for DC. But his goal, his technique on that goal was crazy. Very, very great goal. And then Edison Flores scores a DP level goal. It was a $5 million transfer fee level goal that he scored. But he was in fact fantastic for all of the minutes he was put on. And I'm going to start with that. I think Angus alluded to this too, about sort of lineup choices that were made that maybe dictated the way the game went a little bit in the first half. But Flores was built for this game based on the way he played in the second half. He immediately made an effect on the game.
I think he had another opportunity too. Let's be clear. I think DC had several opportunities in this game. Obviously they had the point blank header from Russell Knaus that was saved. That first half, I think we talk about this game. I'm not so. I think if DC walks out with a draw, we're not really talking about the lineup choices. I think we can maybe have an argument about Juice Gundrich versus Edison Flores.
Yes.
That's kind of the main point of contention, because Reyna wasn't there. Albia wasn't there. Something to watch. There were a lot of players that just did not travel. And that was interesting. They're not. Hernan said that there were some things that happened are going to stay in the locker room. I don't know if Albia seems like the kind of the main suspect, I guess, in that regard. I would hope that Reyna wouldn't be a part of that, but that was brought up in the post-game conference.
I think Burn. It was alluded that Birnbaum was at issue also during the week. That's why he didn't start. There was a question about why he didn't start. He came on for Briant because Briant had a yellow card and was wilding out and almost got a second one. So I think, I like that they don't air the dirty laundry here. We're not reporters per se, right? Like we're not on the beat, so like we're not going to run it down. But he had the opportunity to sort of throw those players on the bus. They did not. If it was in fact disciplinary for Abila, that sucks because the team continues to be paper thin there. Nigel Robertha has the worst hamstring strain in human history, unfortunately. Bad timing for the guy you bring in, your only transfer fee, who has scar tissue in his hamstring, plays like 3 games, scores a banger on the road.
Yeah,
was that New York City that he scored that goal?
Yeah, it was in New York City. It was in Red Bull Arena. I don't think you bring on. I think this is a game. If even if Robertha's questionable, you kind of hold him back. I think you're looking at 2 crucial home games coming up where I think you're going to see every piece. Everyone's going to get an opportunity. Robertha, Edison Flores.
He hasn't made the 18. Nigel is potentially still not available. But I just meant Abila. If it was that reason, that's a bold choice for a coaching perspective. There was no forward to come on. Griffin Yao was the option, who, by the way, was very good in a limited cameo. The man, he when given the task, I think, to not really play two-way and just be like, Griffin, attack the goal. Yeah. That's all you're doing here. Don't worry about playing defense. I want you to dribble at the goal every time. And he did damn well. I was happy to see that.
Yeah, and I think I want to circle back the conversation to sort of Drew Skundrich, because I think he was the person of most ire. I think the way that Hernan approached this game, I think he went a little more defensive, a little less creativity. His idea was we're going to kind of sit back in a little bit of a low block. We're going to absorb pressure. We're going to try to break on the attack, win on the press. And we're going to rely on Julian Gressel and Kevin Paredes to sort of, be some sort of creative force in the center. And I did say I would talk about Kevin Paredes, but Kevin Paredes showed an ability to whip the ball in this game. And I think that is something that maybe is kind of missing from his game. He has the dribble ability, but sort of the idea, he kind of gets it in the final third, and either he gets taken down for a foul and wins a penalty, which can be good, can win a free kick opportunity, or you kind of see him, maybe make the wrong decision. So his ability to sort of recognize when to whip the ball in, I think was pretty good. But talking about Drew Skundrich, we've been big fans, I think, of Drew on the show. I think a lot of fans, he's maybe if there really isn't any player, I think that's drawn any anger or any upsetness now. I don't think that really exists. It's hard to find one. Maybe Kempen, but I think Kempen's
it's Kempen. It's him.
It's John Kempen. That's maybe not fair, but I would say there's no player on the field, but I would say that the field player on the field that has really drawn as much ire. But I think Drew Skundrich is kind of becoming a candidate because he is keeping Edison Flores off the field, and I think. I like to think that, because I was wondering, is Edison Flores going to start this game? God, I think he should, and he didn't play a lot. I thought maybe this was an opportunity.
He was starting in an international break for Peru, so it's not about fitness.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he just thinks he's got his horses now. He's got a starting 11. I think after this game, he's made a good case, and I hope that Losada sees that. Now again, is Reyna back? Kamara start, then you're suddenly getting into questions of, do you bench Moreno or Reyna, or sorry, Areola or Reyna? Maybe Areola, certainly not Reyna, because how Jordi Reyna's looked.
Yep.
Which
is a wild thing to say right now.
I think it is wild. I do think he gets a start. I think you're going to have 2 games coming up, obviously both at home. I think both those games I think you give them the start in Cincinnati and say, hey, this is a game against a weaker opponent. The floor is yours. Go. Show me something incredible. Show me something that's going to make me really consider you down the road. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But as far as Drew Skundrich, I thought he did an okay job. I don't think he did. He was asked to do a role that was very difficult in that he was supposed to push forward. He was supposed to push back. He was supposed to do a lot of things that I think that I think were very difficult, and he was asked to do a lot, and he doesn't have that creative ability. And for the first half, it seemed like it was still working. Like what Losada was doing, DC controlled a lot of that game and generated the more opportunities.
I don't like him as an 8. I do not think that is. He's played there, and he's filled. I think when he's had more success, he was more of a 6. He was one of the two defensive midfielders, and I think he's much better there. His range of passing isn't very good, but we've said this now a number of times. He doesn't make. Generally, he does not give the ball up in dangerous situations. He will not put the team in trouble. I just think that for the position on the field where he is at an 8, we need a little bit more from him, and that's why I think it's reasonable for people to say, maybe we don't need him on the field here. But I think we have bigger problems with selection. I think selection is the thing we really got to think about for those players who are who are sort of expected to deliver more. Maybe you risk them, right? Maybe unless the goal was, and he said that it wasn't. We didn't go in there, and they didn't play like it really. We didn't go in there for a 1-1 draw or a 0-0 draw. So you can't say that Drew was on the field just to neutralize. But I just think based on the way Flores played, unless it's something about he doesn't think that he can give him 75 minutes of two-way play. And that he's better just throwing 20 minutes at the end, going all gas, no brakes, maybe. But I think that you got to see what you got with him. We talked about it before. This is decision time, and maybe you're going to keep him next year anyway because of his contract. But I think you got to know, can he fit the system in the way that you need him to? And right now, you talked about it. These games at home are crunch time. And you've got to beat the brakes off FC Cincinnati. You can't drop points again on this game at home. So
yeah, no, you got to come out and win. You got to come out and win, certainly. So I mean, I'd be curious to see what happens with Flores once he gets to start. Eric wants to come on the show. He wants to talk Kevin Paredes and Russell Canouse. Eric, you're on the line. What's up, man? The floor is yours.
Hey, just calling in to say welcome back. Glad to see you. Glad to hear you. Last Wednesday at the Fire game, brought my best friend to his first game in quite a while, and he had a lovely time. I stand in the rowdier section, so it was tempestuous for him, but he had a good time. And a 3-0, win will do that. Interestingly enough, my parents, who don't watch games really, decided hey, we'll watch to see if Eric's on TV. And my mom said to me, "Who's that Paredes? Who's that kid? Does he play for the United States national team?" And I was like, "Yeah, he could if he gets called up." And I just want to say, we all knew he had this ability, he had this talent. And consistently, I'm impressed. As someone who's seen a lot of soccer in my life, consistently I'm impressed with his willingness to battle, his willingness to run the full 90, right? So there's a certain caliber of player who can play what is asked of Gressel, what is asked of Paredes. And I think that he's been doing a spectacular job, especially later in the game. And you guys were alluding to earlier when Flores came on for Skundrich. I think Skundrich gets a lot of flack. I don't think he's the best choice for DC. I do wish we saw Edison Flores more often, but I also don't think he deserves as much hate as he gets sometimes, at least online anyway, in the DC United fandom. But once, last 20 minutes, I was just really impressed with the amount of energy, the amount of fight that the team gave. One player who I thought, and I don't know if I'm crazy. Please tell me if I'm crazy or thinking this. Maybe I just didn't watch the same game as everybody else, but I thought Canouse might not fit exactly what the team's doing. So he's a good destroyer. He's good to come in and stop plays, break up attacking plays from the opposing team. But I don't see him
as quite as quick on the distribution end, as snappy with his passes, is able to read where the attacking play and transition coming from United is going. Again, I might just be crazy. I love Canals. I love his ability to do all those things I said, to be that destroyer there in the midfield. But I don't know. Am I just insane? Like, I think he might be one of the players. And again, the whole back line needs to be reevaluated over the offseason.
Yep.
I mean, Nahar obviously is having a resurgence, but how long can we, hold on to him for? Like, God bless him. He's older than me now, so I mean, he always has been. But
yeah, I would say that he is certainly not at the heights he was at the beginning of the season. I think that he was a can't drop key pivotal player for the first, 5 or 6 games of the season. I think he was probably 1 or 2 on the team sheet the way he was playing. He's had a lot of personal issues. He had a family family tragedy. Of course. So I think he's not back to full speed. I think that's weighing on him. I couldn't say, but like he's not where he was at the beginning of the year. He did not have a great game. FootMob agrees with you for whatever that's worth. The defensive midfielder pairing was pretty null for the game. But I would like to. Moses Nyman has gone, like I already said, not necessarily gone missing, but he's not at the top of the chart anymore. So I'm hoping that Canals uses FC Cincinnati's pretty anemic attack to sort of build some confidence and be more contributing to the offense in a way he hasn't been the last couple games.
I just want to be able to laugh at Lucho rolling on the ground instead of feel exasperated by it.
I gotta tell you, there are. I saw an interesting post that Cincinnati fans are making, and I couldn't help but get kind of a similar. That I think they're starting to realize the same things that I think I've realized about DC when he was here and his tenure here. They're saying, yeah, okay, so when he's out there, he's a good player. Like he makes our team better, but like he has like 1 or 2 moments of like brilliance, like maybe every other game, and like 90, like over like 5 or 6 moments of just pure frustration that just make you like realize like maybe the team needs to figure something else out. But right now you need him in there if you want anything, because there's nothing else left in that team. So I'll be curious to see. Watch him drop like a Hattie on us or something. I don't know. Maybe that happens.
Oh God.
There's a lot of hate here in the chat for some Lucha. I'm interesting to see how what the response will be. I don't think I'll be in the house, but if I would, you guys know what I would be doing.
Yeah, Eric. anything else you want to drop, man?
I don't know if you guys have been following Bill Hamid's Twitter. I do, and
he's back on his game. He's back on his game.
I love the amount of just drive, vitriol, and energy he brings to the team, regardless of whether or not the rest of the league sees eye to eye with him. Anyway, thank you all, and have a good night. Okay.
You too, man. Yeah, so there's still some Lucho love, and I understand that. I certainly do. I think DC's better off personally. I think they are better off without Luciano Acosta on this team. And this is a guy who loved him in 2018 and what he did for this club and everything. But I would not trade a single one of the players out here on this field, including Drew Skundrich, for Luciano Acosta.
Oh, you're wowing.
I'm not wowing. I'm not wowing.
Can we get a poll in the chat? Is Ted wowing? Drew Skundrich for Lucho, straight up, no salary cap repercussions. Would you make the deal? I feel like
no, I would not. I would not make that deal. I would not make that deal.
Ooh.
But I'll tell you, I don't think Lucho is going to be long in Cincy, and I'm not sure where he goes from here, because I'm not sure any other MLS team is going to be willing. He's going to have to accept a maybe that's how he comes back to DC, if he accepts a drastically lower salary. Though knowing Lucho.
Not his thing. Doesn't do that.
I will say I what I could see happening is if someone manages to convince him to come get on a lower salary, he goes to a team where he doesn't have to be the man, and suddenly he plays really well because that's what he's expected to do. It was what he was expected to do in DC, and it's what he was expected to do in Cincy, and that's why I think expectations.
I just realized I accidentally voted wrong on the poll. It should say, "Oh yay!" I do want to trade Skundrich for Lucho. So if the poll loses by one, I messed up.
You better hope Andy Sullivan doesn't hear you talk about that.
Listen,
Andrew Skundrich, friend of the show.
Her and Rose Lavelle would love a Cincinnati team if that happened. I think are the women playing right now? Is that happening? Are we missing that?
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We're not missing it then. That's good. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other big. I mean, we got Cincinnati. We already sort of alluded to that here with the Lucho talk. I think that I'm trying to think their last. Here's their most recent performance, just so we have an idea of the level of stinkiness. 2-1 against New York City, 4-0 by Atlanta, beat Toronto 2-0, which is try harder, guys. You can do better than that. 1-0 loss to Miami, 3-2 loss to Columbus, 4-1 loss to New England. And then some draws, and then four draws in a row.
Did you watch the? Speaking of Toronto, did you watch the Toronto Miami game? Did you witness that at all?
I saw the scuttlebutt after the end about the penalty in the 90th.
Yeah, it was so. It wasn't just the penalty. Toronto scored a goal. They absolutely scored a goal, but the referee, the assistant referee, with the way the goalkeeper's dying, the assistant referee was shielded from the ball. They went to VAR. And still did not call. Go watch that replay. The ball, it's almost a wide open net. The keeper dives back, like punches it out, but it's very evident that the ball crossed the line. How MLS integrating, goal, VAR. How the heck do you not have a camera inside the goalpost, each goalpost for VAR? Every game should have that. Toronto are cursed. Let me just tell you, Toronto are absolutely 100% cursed.
How much can a GoPro really cost, right? They got to be cheap enough now. You just strap it on there, tape
it. Some games do. I mean, remember, and I should say that. I remember there was a Portland game where they did have the goal. They had the ball in the goal line, and they did not call it. They did not give DC a goal, even though fans all over the area thought they should have had it. So. Yeah, I don't know, but it was interesting. It was hilarious to watch, and it clearly, if that isn't a backbreaker for the rest of the season for Toronto, I don't know what is, because you were this close to registering a win, and just to watch it just all fall apart at the end. So someone sold their soul to get that points record. Canadian, yeah, someone sold their soul. That's the only thing I can get into it.
I thought you were referring to the fact that the poll for trading Lucho for Drew Skundrich won 68-2 because
that's fine.
One of our viewers used a whole bunch of channel points because you can vote over and over again with channel points. So thank you. I appreciate that. We should do more polls.
Well, that's fine. People can have their opinions, and people can be wrong too. So it's fine.
Too true. We would talk to you about the Spirit game, but there was no Spirit game. There theoretically is one Sunday at Segra. So I'll let you know if I am there and there's a game. I'll tweet about it. I'll make sure you guys know that there's a game if it exists.
Yeah, it was quiet on the Spirit front mostly.
Yeah, this week I don't think there have been. Please remind us in the chat if we're wrong. We may have missed one. I'm trying to think. There was. I think the only heat was the statement that came out about the forfeit. Mm-hmm. I guess from Ben.
Yeah,
which is I still can't get over that. By the way, that's still crazy to me from like a mental adjustment, like, oh, okay, cool, Ben, that's coming from Ben now, about sort of like, it's still, they're in the same position where they can't necessarily force the players to get vaccinated, and there's still some players that are just not doing it.
Yep, there were two people from the communications department who have left.
One of them was working for the Red Sox, so great for her. That's a huge promotion. So good for her.
Yeah, that seems like maybe one was at least a promotion situation, but that can kind of force people to make changes. So I think the one going to the Red Sox, who knows about the other one? It's incredibly, it's depressing. It's depressing. And I was actually thinking, man, we maybe we don't have to talk about the Spirit, because it's just so much hope and promise about this team is just completely gone up in flames. They still could make the playoffs. I mean, that's still certainly a possibility. I don't know how you as players come back from this. I guess the other news that sort of broke with this was it was actually confirmed what the situation was as to why they got hit on those COVID violations. It was actually a player apparently had traveled, didn't tell anybody, and then came back. So almost makes the whole story that came out, we'll call it that, almost seem even worse, because it was clearly not the reason as to why this happened. So,
well, I think we should all just follow the rest of Chris Russell's Spirit coverage now that he is, a Spirit writer. So
we will never hear him tweet anything about the team again unless
but he
it
has
comes
such
direct.
good sources.
I know. Well, I mean, he's got Steve Baldwin, so apparently that's a good source, but I mean, I guess not a reliable one.
No.
But I mean, I keep hoping. I was like, well, it's been quiet, so I'm like, well, maybe we're going to hear something that's going to like actually break good, and this is all kind of going to be over. So
I think the other thing too, Spirit related, is Jason Anderson's quote that he got from Andy Sullivan about sort of being like, oh, it's normally the national team games and practices are much more stressful than your club situation, but not this time, not now. So happy to be playing here for the national team. By the way, say what you will about these games against Paraguay, and I don't know how beneficial they are from a really any perspective whatsoever, but I got Andy on the field and let Andy score a banger, and could have scored multiple bangers. And I think the challenge here is, from our Twitter universe, we're very Spirit heavy and DC centric, but it seems like the universe is starting to really understand that she needed to be at the Olympics. She needs to be on the roster going forward. Vlatko needs to have a 6 with her skill set, if not starting, at least available for selection in any of these matches.
Yeah, and I think it's, we talked a bit, obviously this the player that got the headlines was obviously Carly Lloyd, scoring 5 goals, I think it was.
Yep, probably.
They just left her on the field too. But I think the real story is you're seeing players get sort of back into the team. Obviously Andy Sullivan, Mallory Pugh made sort of a reappearance. So I think
it was the ghost of Spirit's past, I think.
Yeah,
lineup, pretty much.
It really was. It really was. And it makes you a little bit upset about all that. But I think it's important. It's good to see that there is a recognition that we need to, get some new blood into this team, get some different players, breathe some life in. Paraguay's not a world beater.
They have never made the World Cup.
Yeah, they got pretty much roundly beaten, and I think we can also argue, the usefulness of playing them as sort of a national team. I will say there was some good news, I guess, on the women's front. I don't know if we've covered it, but there is talk there is going to be the women's World Cup qualifying. They're actually, I think, going to have a full-on like World Cup qualifying international like tournament, and there's going to be like a sort of a women's version of the Gold Cup. So. Very, very good to see. Should have happened. Good to see, CONCACAF at least have a women's competition that can actually get other teams more minutes, more than the U.S. Can also help grow Mexico, which I have to say, look out for them. I think they're going to be good at some point. I think they're on a growth path with that league, and they really are starting to invest in Liga MX Femelle. It's actually pretty fun to watch. That's all good to hear. Apparently, CONCACAF also is going to make an announcement tomorrow with MLS and Liga MX. Not sure what that's about. John Arnold dropping that. I don't know if you had a chance to see that.
No,
I don't know what that entails. I know they've already announced the expanded. I'm wondering if it's we're going to actually do this like now, like we're just going to do it.
You think so? Yeah,
we're not going to wait around for 2023.
Just on a Tuesday afternoon, like, all right. One league.
Yep.
It's happening. Sorry, guys.
I'm saying I think my projection is they are going to say we are going to do. They've already talked about the expanded CONCACAF Champions League, having like 24 teams, like a bunch of. I think the announcement, my projection, because they've also invited the Central American and I think the Caribbean confederations as well. Oh, my projection is they are saying we're actually doing this next year. This is happening next year. So
let us in it. I don't know whatever weird qualification you would need to have for DC United to be qualified for it. That's what I want. I'll buy that ticket package add-on. I remember I used to do that. So at RFK in the old days when we were allowed to play in Champions League, you bought your season ticket and then you bought your Champions League strip on top of it for like not any money because no one went to those games. But man, I will do it. I will commit right now. DC United, do you want my extra money? Somehow cheat your way into the Champions League. Maybe there's like some like injuries suffered like exemption we can get into there, like a fair play award or whatever. We'll do that, but like man games lost by injury, DC United gets qualified into 2022 Champions League.
Or we could just go out and win MLS.
Or we could just win the damn thing. That's another thing we could do.
All right, y'all. I think that's going to do it for the show. Unless John, you have anything else you want to drop?
Yep. Make sure you resubscribe here on Twitch if you are watching us live. If you're not watching us live and listening to the podcast on Tuesday and you want to figure out how to do that, I'll DM me. I'll show you how to do it. But yeah, just go to Twitch and use your Amazon Prime sub, or just use a regular sub. You could also join our Patreon for when we start doing second episodes again. I'm now feeling energized. This was good. This break off was good. Now I'm ready to rock again. And then also just for the ability to share things, because me and Ted have a show. This is my piece of art recommendation. Somehow I'm sure everyone's seen this because it's old, and I was actually talking with producer Brian about it before the show. Go watch Inside by Bo Burnham on Netflix if you haven't already. I love it to death. I listen to the songs as if it were like a Hamilton soundtrack. I'm like one of those guys. So it's great. Check it out. I used to do a playlist every week, but that got too hard and no one listened to it. But that's my version of this on the show. Go watch that. It's an hour and a half. You'll thank me. Ted, do you have any recommendations of media besides video game? Tell the people to play the video game again. You love that.
Yeah, no, I just beat it. It was wonderful. I've already told people to play Psychonauts 2. Definitely do that. Support content that needs to be supported. Fun games. I don't know if I have like any other media, I guess, that I'm enjoying. Actually, I'll go ahead and plug. If you want people who watch this game more technically, I can give you actual I would call it like more detailed analysis. Go check out MLS Assist. They actually talk about the DC Atlanta game in depth, and they actually don't just talk about how good Atlanta is, unlike the Univision commentators acting like Atlanta was dominating that game. They actually give some nuance and give DC some credit, so it was cool to see.
That's a good show every week, but much better when they're talking about DC United. So
yep, always good when they're
reward them with a spike in numbers.
Yes.
Give the RFK Refugees bump.
Listen to them and don't listen to MLS Extra Time. Don't listen to Andrew Wiebe. There we go. That's the thing.
They don't need your listens.
Just kidding, everybody. Andrew Wiebe Extra Time Radio is still a fun show to listen to when you have nothing else to listen to. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for listening. You guys are legends. We love you. Twitter.com RFK Refugees. Subscribe on Twitch. Do it. Help us out. We love to do this show, and we appreciate all the support you guys give us. We will catch you guys probably next Monday. Vamos.